Alright guys, another week and we are back for some more Championship transfer rumours, and you know what, we've got quite a lot to go through today. Bit of managerial speculation to talk through and an abundance of transfer rumours as well. As always, if we do miss anything that you've seen going on in around the Championship, make sure to get it in the comments down below and we'll discuss it next time. But without any further ado, let's jump in. And we'll start out with a bit of managerial speculation. It has now been confirmed that Southampton will be playing in the Championship next season and they'll also be on the hunt for their new manager. And as to be expected, Rohl is by far and away the front runner to go ahead and land that job. Obviously, the Sheffield Wednesday boss was eyed up by Southampton earlier in the season. That move didn't come off in the end, but it is going to be one that Southampton are looking to revisit. And a few other names, interesting ones at that, have been linked with the job. You've also got Frank Lampard's name, who's been thrown into the mix there at Southampton. Liam Rossini, who's a really interesting one. Steve Cooper as well. But certainly going off the latest bookmakers odds, it is Rohl as the overwhelming favourite. I think there is a sense within the Sheffield Wednesday fan base that Rohl maybe will move on at the end of the season. So Wednesday fans, I'd love to get your verdict on that at the moment. Southampton fans as well, welcome back to the Championship. Some more managerial news as well is that Russell Martin is being eyed up by Leicester City as potentially Ruud van Nistelrooy's replacement going into next season. Now, Leicester's relegation to the Championship hasn't been officially confirmed as of yet, but I think we can all agree the Foxes will be playing Championship football next season. It seems more than likely that they will be looking for a new manager and Ruud van Nistelrooy won't be sticking around in the Championship. And over the weekend there have been some links coming out linking Russell Martin to that job. Obviously got Southampton over the line last season in the Championship. He'd potentially be walking into another parachute club here in Leicester City, so that's certainly one to keep your eye on. And before we jump into any transfer rumours, we've got a done deal to talk through, and that's because Brighton have agreed a deal with Sunderland to sign Tommy Watson at the end of the season in an overall deal worth £10 million. Now, the 18-year-old, still a fairly raw prospect. You know, he's only played 14 Championship matches so far this season, just over 540 minutes of Championship football, but Brighton have already seen enough to put down £10 million for the youngster. And I think this is something that Sunderland fans are probably a little bit apprehensive about going into the summer, certainly if they're not promoted at the end of the season, and that's that a lot of their youngsters are probably going to be poached by Premier League clubs. You know, you look at the likes of Chris Rigg, Joe Bellingham, Patterson, Isidore, they've all had admirers from Premier League sides, haven't they? And Watson's the first one to go. Sunderland fans, I'd be interested to get your verdict on that one in the comments down below. But now, without any further ado, let's jump into some transfer rumours. So as of recording, Freddie Woodman will become a free agent at the end of the season. His contract with North End is set to expire. Coincidentally, he's set to miss the remainder of the season through injury as well, so there's every chance that Preston fans have seen the last of Freddie Woodman at Deepdale. And not sure many people saw this one coming, but Manchester United are currently keeping tabs on him as they're going to be going after a domestic backup goalkeeper in the summer transfer window, and someone like Woodman would be a cost-effective option for them to go after because he'd be available as a free agent. I think most Preston fans do expect this to be the end of Woodman's time at North End. He came in and did really well in that first season, but since then there has been an obvious drop-off. Paul Heckingbottom will also want to put his own stamp on this North End side in the summer, and I do think that goalkeeping position is probably somewhere where we could look to maybe upgrade. Obviously, if he was to go to a club like Manchester United, he wouldn't be going in there as their starting goalkeeper, may not even necessarily be going in as their number two, he'd be a number 2 or 3. It's not the first time either that Man United have been linked with a Championship goalkeeper with a look towards the summer. Blackburn's Ainsley Pears also has been linked with a move to Old Trafford as well, so they're keeping their options open at the moment, but there's every chance that Freddie Woodman does sign for United come the summer. Keep your eye out for that one. And speaking of that goalkeeping position, Preston are already looking at potential options to replace Freddie Woodman. Jesse Jordan is the latest name to pop up on North End's radar. The Finland international, he's currently playing in Italy, on the books at Venezia, but has been demoted to their backup goalkeeper for the majority of this season. Now, interestingly, his contract with the Italian club is set to expire at the end of the season, but the club does hold an option to extend his deal by a further 12 months should they choose. So that may have an implication on whether or not Preston decide to go for him, whether he is available as a free agent or not. Interestingly, there were a few links with the goalkeeper and Watford going back to the January transfer window. Obviously that move didn't materialise in the end, but he is someone being looked at by Preston at the moment, so another one to keep your eye on there. Now in terms of this upcoming summer transfer window, it looks like there could be quite a few goalkeepers on the move. Leeds are reportedly targeting Burnley's James Trafford should they be promoted and Burnley aren't. Now as of recording right now, I'm not sure how likely that is to happen. You'd probably say that Burnley, given their recent form, are more likely to be playing Premier League football next season than Leeds United are, but it's one of the options currently being looked at by Leeds. Obviously that goalkeeping position is going to be somewhere that Leeds are looking to strengthen next season, I suppose regardless of what division they're in. With James Trafford, it is an interesting one. Obviously the links to Newcastle United are still very strong. There is still reportedly a verbal agreement in place between Trafford and Newcastle, but whether or not Newcastle can reach an agreement with Burnley is a totally different conversation. For Leeds United, it's no surprise that they do like the look of a goalkeeper like Trafford. He's been, probably along with Cooper, the best goalkeeper in the league this season. But Leeds' chances of getting this deal done very much depend on what league they're playing in next season and what league Burnley are playing in as well. I'd be interested to know where Hull City fans stand on Regan Slater right now. He is currently being linked with a number of Championship clubs. I've recently seen the likes of Stoke, Derby, Middlesbrough and even Sheffield United linked with the midfielder. So far this season, he has started in the majority of games for Hull. He started in 31 out of their 40 Championship matches so far this season, also made 8 substitute appearances as well. He has been an ever-present member of that Hull City squad this season. He's also under a fairly long-term contract with the club until 2026, with the club having the option of extending that by a further year as well. But going off some of the recent murmurings, it looks like a move could be on the cards this summer. Now over the past few weeks and months, we've spoken about Sunderland's Chris Rigg on quite a few occasions. Obviously, he is someone who is attracting plenty of interest from not just clubs in the Premier League, but clubs from around Europe as well. But going off some of the latest reports, it seems like a lot of his potential suitors are being put off by Sunderland's mouth-watering price tag. Supposedly, the Black Cats value him at £40 million. That's the asking price that they're going to be going in for this summer. And obviously, Sunderland's bargaining power very much will be influenced by what league they're playing in next season, if they do achieve promotion to the Premier League or they are still playing in the Championship. Regardless of that, it doesn't seem like they have many clubs right now who are willing to go in at that 40 million mark, but come the summer that could be a completely different story. As things stand, Grady Diangana will become a free agent at the end of the season, and there are plenty of clubs that have been linked with the winger. Obviously, going back to the January transfer window, there were plenty of clubs that were sniffing around. Burnley, one of the interested parties, a few sides from abroad as well. Leeds United are the latest club I've seen thrown into the mix, and it has been claimed that Diangana would be open to a move to Leeds, as well as supposedly being open to a move to Wolves as well. I can't imagine that would go down very well with the Baggies fan base. But whether or not sides like Leeds and Wolves would be even interested in the winger right now, I'm not totally sure. A potential move to MLS has also been discussed as one that could be on the cards for the summer for Diangana as well. Tom Lawrence will be a name familiar with plenty of Championship fans, and the Rangers' creative midfielder is being linked with a return to the Championship. Now, it's not totally clear what will happen with Lawrence come the end of the season. His contract with Rangers is set to expire, but the club does have the option to extend that by a further year should they choose. But with the 31-year-old looking more than likely that he will be available on a free transfer, plenty of Championship clubs are upping their interest in him. You've got the likes of West Brom, Coventry, Middlesbrough, Blackburn, and even Wrexham, who at this stage look more than likely that they will be playing in the Championship next season, all currently interested. As a player on a free transfer, if the wages were right, you could see why there is quite a bit of interest there at the moment. Arsenal youngster Nathan Butler-Oyedeji is reportedly on the transfer target list at Norwich City. As things stand, the 22-year-old is set to become a free agent at the end of the season upon his contract with Arsenal expiring, and that is something that Norwich could look to take advantage of here. He has made one senior appearance with Arsenal and also had brief loan spells with the likes of Accrington and Cheltenham, but has predominantly played in under-21s football up until this point of his career. So by no means the finished product, but at 22 years old is still at a young age to grow into someone who could become potentially a top player in the Championship. Looks more than likely that Everton will be doing a bit of their summer transfer business shopping around the Championship. But in the case of Maxime Esteve, there's every chance that he's a Premier League defender come the end of the season, with Burnley looking strong right now to be promoted. Obviously, Burnley have boasted the flawless defensive record in the Championship this season, and he's played a key role in that. With that being said, Everton are one of the clubs who are interested and will be looking to try and prize him away from Turf Moor in the summer. But you'd imagine if Burnley are promoted to the Premier League, they'd be in quite a strong bargaining position to keep him around. But there you guys have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you did go on to enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and as always, do get all your thoughts in the comments down below ahead of the summer transfer window opening. Other than that though guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.